The movie begins on a beautiful, majestic South Pacific island. It's full of life, with nature, locals, and animals who live in peace. Private Whit, an American Army, hides on that island for many years. Whit gets along with the locals, he plays with the children almost daily and does what a local does until he is discovered. Even though he runs away, the U.S. patrol boat comes to the island, and Sergeant Welsh discovers Whit's secret life. Sergeant Welsh assigns Whit to his new mission, sending him to become a disciplinary outfit. Mostly, his duty is to take care of wounded soldiers. Whit has no choice but to agree with Welsh's commands. Other soldiers pick Whit from the island and bring him alone with the patrol boat, wherein other high-ranking officials are taking notes on how to win the Battle of Guadalcanal. Those notable officers include Brigadier General Quintard, a hard rock man with a solid attitude, and an old man with a strict personality, Lieutenant Colonel Tall. Under the boat, the soldiers talk about their lives, dreams, and fears. One of those men vocal about his fear is Edward Train. He's terrified of getting killed and not being able to go home, as other men fear the most too. While locked in the basement, the soldiers use their spare time to do their hobbies: reading, playing the violin, talking, teasing each other, and sleeping. Private Bell, a married young man, mostly talks about his wife, Marty, whom he loves so dearly, even if it risks his life and work to be in danger. While talking about his life, a big blow siren sounds up that indicates for the soldiers to prepare. They are arriving at their main point. The soldiers stand firmly next to each other. Some are afraid, and others are excited to be in battle. Each gets into their respective boat and sets off to the island. As the soldiers slowly arrive one by one, the locals are shocked by their presence because they are full of men with armor and human-sized guns. The first troop to the island is called the Charlie Company, led by Sergeant Welsh. The soldiers slowly go into the deep woods and nature of the island. They even go across rivers, streams, and endless jungle in their journey, until they get into the open field of Henderson. The troop realizes its silence going deep into their minds as they slowly discover that dead American soldiers are scattered across the area. As they secure their camp on the island, the battle begins again in the reinforcement of securing Henderson Field and seizing it from the Japanese. The soldiers arrive near Hill 210, which is the epicenter of the battle, and by slowly attacking the enemies, they are slowly dying too. Plenty of American soldiers get wounded, they get shot, and their body parts blow up. With endless lines of people coming to the medical area, Private Whit doesn't know what to do anymore, but he assists his fellow soldiers as much as possible. He gives them water and cleans their wounds to ease their pain. The 3rd platoon plans their strategy now, and they must know where the Japanese are hiding from the tall grasses and trees. They are good at camouflaging too, so it's going to be hard locating them. But the Americans don't lose hope, just for their honor and country. Lieutenant Tall has been talking to the radio on the other side of the mountain as he overviews the locations and signals the attack. While the soldiers hide behind tall grasses, the bombings continually occur and almost tear up their eardrums. It feels like a death in a matter of minutes. Sergeant Keck leads the platoon when they signal to attack the Japanese. One of his men develops stomach pain that delays the whole plan. So instead of forcing Seiko to go and fight, Sergeant Welsh decides to send him to the medic. Despite their circumstances, the platoon moves forward even though death is across the corner. 2 of the soldiers become the bait. They run across the field until they get shot by the Japanese, and that's when the Americans know where the shot is coming from. With all the strength and courage left in their spirits, the platoon attacks the Japs, until they either get shot or bombed by the enemies. They are wholeheartedly willing to give up their lives to win the battle, but they must cease with all the unlucky in the world. Soldiers who are also a son, a brother, and a husband to someone dies. Even Sergeant Keck falls back when all of his 12 men die in a snap. Unfortunately, due to panic attacks, Sergeant Keck accidentally blows his bum off with the grenade he is supposed to throw at the enemies, leading to his death. However, Sergeant Welsh and Captain Starros hide in a safe den with their men. Captain Starros asks Colonel Tall for patrol reconnaissance because he can no longer send his men to their deaths. As expected, Colonel Tall shouts with tumult and fury. Colonel doesn't want to lose momentum and continuously attack the Japs. It's their only chance. Colonel Tall Cannon understands that it's its peril to take a risk for the lives of these soldiers. He only wants to win without thinking about his decision's outcome. On the contrary, Captain Starros intends to keep his men alive and well, no matter what. Meanwhile, while the other soldiers still try to win the battle, a new young soldier, Private Bede, who is relatively close with Corporal Fife, is saying his last words to his dear friend. Tears stream down his face, trying to survive the battle. But it's too late now, and he sadly passes. Back in the safe den, Colonel Tall goes by himself to check what's happening, and he goes there even if he's not supposed to. Then, he brings Starros into a separate area where they talk, and he firmly explains what he wants to do his way. Staros is left speechless and obeys his colonel. Staros commands his men to go after the other soldiers there already. Notably, Private Bell is commanded to lead the way, bringing 6 men with him. They slowly crawl into the island's deep grasses, eyeing where to shoot and destroy the enemies. With all the love for his wife, Bell sadly needs to decide and try out his chance. He grabs his pendant where Marty's picture is and throws it into the pit. That's when the Japs shoot it, giving Bell an idea of where they are. Back in the base camp, Colonel Tall is giving orders and commands to everyone to go and protect the ridge, even though the soldiers are obviously tired and exhausted from endless battles. They don't have the energy to do so, and Captain Staros keeps reminding the colonel that it's better to keep the men alive than attack without any assurance of taking over the ridge. Meanwhile, Bell and his comrades spend their night at the hilltop, and they cannot notice that they fall asleep with too much exhaustion and tiredness. Bell is still thinking about Marty, how their love sparks, and how he enjoys his time with her. Bell misses his wife so much, he loves her with all her heart. The remaining soldiers look pretty depressed, and their minds wander while staring into nothingness until they hear the voice of the colonel, who commands them to go to the ridge, which wakes them up, and has no choice but to obey. Corporal Fife leads the way. He and his platoon walk and crawl up to the mountain, where a giant rock lies, enabling them to hide. Fife realizes they are one rock apart from the Japs, hiding under the camouflage dens with their big guns. And with all their bravery, they attack the Japs even if they are outnumbered. Fife and his men shoot as many as possible. They also bomb the hidden dens of the Japs and kills them. After the bombing, a massive amount of Japanese soldiers are coming after them. Still, instead of backing out, Fife and his men decide to fight and kill them too. Captain Gaff whistles to the other soldier, commanding them to support Fife and the others on the front line. Even if Private Bell is bombarded with his thoughts, he tries his best to join the soldiers to attack the Japs, until they can outnumber them and kill all the Asian guys they come across. After the bloody fight, the Americans can take over the Japanese headquarters and held every remaining Japanese soldier captive. Some of the Japs are naked, getting crazy, begging them not to kill, but they are now prisoners. Private Witt joins the team to keep an eye on the prisoners, too. He's not supposed to be there, but lots of men have already died. However, despite all the efforts to invade the Japanese headquarters, Colonel Tall still wants more. The other officials disagree with him, not knowing what success means to the colonel. Captain Gaff asks for water and rests for him and the soldiers, but Colonel wants the other way around. Colonel explains to Gaff that it's his only chance to have a reputation when it comes to wars. It's his first mission again after 15 years, and that's why he doesn't want to lose the momentum, knowing that they are doing great at their mission. On the battlefield, many dead soldiers are scattered around the ground. It doesn't matter if they are Japanese or American, but they unite to bury them in their own ways and practices. The Japs burn their soldiers while the Americans bury theirs. But there's more to it. When the night comes, Americans prepare their guns and put a sword on it for another attack. Corporal Fife, who leads the fight, attacks the Japs in the middle of the night, though he can't see clearly due to the fog and darkness of the environment. Fife is left alone but never gives up. He wants until he gets his support, and they attack again. Then the Japs' last set of soldiers come their way. Fife and all the soldiers pour out their remaining energy to kill every enemy they see. In the end, they invade the Japs' main headquarters. They bomb it and take captive everyone left alive. The war is over. The soldiers celebrate their little victory by cleaning themselves up in the nearby river with clean water. They can finally rest, at least take a breath from every pressure on their shoulders. Colonel Tall talks to Staros in a bungalow made by the Japs, and he reveals to Staros that he is relieving his command and Sergeant Band is taking over his place because he is too soft. Since Staros is a lawyer, he also suggests that if he wants to apply for reassignment to the Judge Advocate General Corps, he still has Purple Heart Award. Staros is left speechless, only to wonder where he went wrong. He only thinks about the safety and lives of his men, and now his goodness is giving him the counterfeit reward. After all the mess, Sergeant Welsh happily announces to the men the colonel's letter. They will have a 1-week rest. The men shout with joy and happiness on their faces. The next day, a big C-150 comes to the island carrying lots of goods, alcohol, and letters for the soldiers. Staros is also saying his goodbyes to his men, who are saddened about his departure. Still, they express their gratitude toward him, which Staros highly appreciates. However, the soldiers celebrate the whole day, drinking and partying. On the other hand, Private Bell receives his letter from Marty, telling him that she has already met an Air Force captain with whom she fell in love. Marty is asking for a divorce to marry the guy. This breaks Bell's heart, which is more painful than the death and gunshots he faces daily. However, while the soldiers pack their things and prepare to go home, Witt gets around the village, befriending the locals. He even goes to the bungalow where Sergeant Welsh is resting, and they just talk about how they end up having lots of unanswered pain, But death is the only constant answer. They thought the war was over until a few Japs were left to attack them. With all the full force left, Lieutenant Band, Corporal Fife, Captain Gaff, and Private Witt kills all the Japs. When Witt is running for his life, he ends up in the open field, and no one is there with him except all the Japanese soldiers who cornered him. Unfortunately, Private Witt gets shot and killed by the Japs. After killing the Japs who killed Witt, Sergeant Welsh buries Witt on the island, knowing his love for the island and the locals are unconditional. Welsh cries over his tomb, with all the regret he has in his heart, unable to protect and fight with him. Amidst all the losses and pain the soldiers have been through, they still manage to have their new leader, Captain Basha. A middle-aged man with a strong wit and determination to win the war. While Basha speaks, all the soldiers seem unimpressed with his presence and look down with lament in their hearts. The movie ends with the soldiers saying their goodbyes to the island, their mission, and their fallen brothers. Besides their bodies being alive, what they carry as they return home to the States are their broken hearts and painful memories they will remember forever. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.